Hello, welcome back to another player interview here at the Transfer Portal CFB. We've got Bailey Zappe on with us tonight, and hey, he was in that transfer portal and he found a great home at Western Kentucky where he's thriving and lighting it up every single week and have a huge season ahead of him. We're really happy to have you on, Bailey. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
I have Doug from the Transfer Portal CFB on with us as well. Hello, Doug. How are you doing?
Doing good, doing good. How's everybody doing?
Good, doing good.
So let's get right into the questions here. I'm curious, like when you're preparing for a game, I kind of want to know how you prepare. Like, take me through your preparation kind of early in the week to leading right up to the start of the game when you're in the locker room getting ready to go.
So like this week, for it being a bye week, we kind of took like last week off. We watched a few games of film on Indiana. But they played Iowa the week before. They played Cincinnati. So like our offense and Iowa's offense really don't, match up well. So we had to wait till they played Cincinnati. And so I watched, Cincinnati's game, watched the whole game, live. And then, like a normal week on, Sundays is when we start, game planning. Coach Kelly starts scheming up plays and everything. I started watching film, and usually I would try to watch like hour and a half, 2 hours a day of film by myself outside of being in the office with Coach Kitley and everything. So that goes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday, the day before the game, I kind of try to like just chill and hang out, try to just like, relax, kind of like play through my, some plays through my head of like, if they give me this look, what would I do if, they kind of like give us a look that, kind of counters what we're trying to do, and, what checks I'm going to do, stuff like that. And then, kind of going into, pregame, I'm kind of basic. I don't really, I don't have like a hype video or a hype, playlist. I kind of honestly listen to country, just try to stay calm, cool. And then really I just go outside onto the field. I have two equipment managers that come out there with me and they help me warm up. And that's really about it until game time.
Gotcha. Love it. Love it. You spoke to Coach Kitley a little there. In my opinion, it is a fact now. He is one of the brightest minds in the country, just an offensive genius. I'm curious, how much do you learn from Coach Kitley? Do you teach him some things too? And what's it like to just pick his brain every day and learn from such a bright mind?
It's definitely, I'm grateful for him. He came into my career at a time where I really needed somebody that, ran this type of offense and kind of like fit what I like to do, which is throw the ball a lot. And to where, the point I'm at now, that doesn't come without him entering, into my career. All this stuff, all these stats, all that stuff doesn't come without him. And then, everybody else on the teams that I've played for. And then, like you said, he's probably the youngest, like, great mind in the college football, in the country right now. And to be able to be underneath him and learn from everything from him, is an awesome experience. I don't think I've taught him anything. It's been mainly the way around, him teaching me a bunch of stuff. And, like I said, I'm extremely grateful to have him as my coach. And we have one last year together, and I hope it's the best one.
Perfect, man. I'm just happy that you have that relationship. It's like a person that you look up to, like on the field. And speaking of that, like, who would be your inspiration off the field? Not necessarily like a coach, but like would be like family member, friend, like somebody that you met passing by. But like, who's your main inspiration, like off the field?
My dad. My dad's, has been my role model since the time I can remember. Since I could do stuff with him, I've done everything with him: hunting, fishing, football, all that stuff. I'm right there at his hip with him doing everything. And, just the character and the hard work, all that stuff that, I try to be is all from him. I try to learn from him in every aspect of life. And, the man that I'm going to be is in large part of what he's taught me. And, I'm very grateful to have a dad like him.
Beautiful, man. Like, glad you have that great relationship with your father and like try to be like him. And speaking of that, like, so going back to on the field in a sense, like, who do you model your game after in terms of like playing style? And if you do want to change that up in the future, like, who would you want to model your game after later on?
When I first started playing, of course, I started, playing quarterback, played quarterback my whole life. I've been playing since I was, 5 years old. And at that time, I was a big Peyton Manning fan. I loved the way like he played the game. I loved how, you see him watch him check in Omaha. I mean, he's famous for Omaha, checking in and out of plays. And I always thought that was awesome as a quarterback to be able to, check plays, call your own plays. So he was a big, quarterback role model for me. And then when I realized I wasn't going to be 6'5", that kind of changed to, Drew Brees and, trying to, mimic some of the stuff he does, at the height he was at, I'm maybe a little bit taller than him, but, studying his film, seeing what he does to, kind of move around in the pocket and just keep the ball up, stay above the D line where they're not knocking his ball down. So that's really the kind of guy that, the past few years that I've really studied a lot, try to kind of reciprocate what he did on the field and off the field. That's a guy that prepares well. He studies the game, is unbelievable, smarts of the game. He understands it well, and he can really dissect the defense on the field.
Love that. Have you had a chance? I know you spoke about Peyton Manning there a little. Did you have a chance to watch the Monday night broadcast last week where Peyton and Eli were speaking so much about the game and really just it was an incredible experience getting to listen to their knowledge. Were you able to listen to that?
I had a few bits and pieces. I saw stuff on Twitter as well, but I don't have. I think it was on ESPN Plus, right?
Yeah,
I think so. I don't think I have it. I don't have an ESPN Plus. So my dad does. So my dad was sending me videos of everything. So I was just watching the videos that he sent me. But so I just saw a little bit. But I'm definitely gonna next time they do it, I'm definitely gonna see if I can get the username and password just to hear what they have to say and their verbiage on stuff.
Yeah, you should. It was definitely like it was really good content. Just the knowledge that Payne was able to share with us, just casual fans, everything that didn't play football, it was great. And that kind of goes into my next question. Me, Doug, a whole lot of other people, we sit at home, we watch football. We didn't really play it. We critique players even though, we didn't play. We don't know how to read a defense. We're not out there doing that, and we still critique. I'm just wondering, like, what's one thing about the quarterback position, which is the hardest position in playing all sports? What's one thing about it that a fan will just never understand?
Whew. I think, the work that goes into it beforehand, the stuff that, fans don't see, the behind the scenes stuff, the practicing, the watching film, the studying the film, the note taking, all the practice reps, trying to make it as live as possible. So, when you get into the game, it's just basically the same thing. And I think that's what a lot of, fans and people don't get to see is the behind the scenes stuff, the stuff that leads up to the in game situations or on the Sundays and Saturdays. And I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, no, like that's the thing. Like behind the scenes would help open up a lot of eyes and lower a lot of the critique that all the quarterbacks get. And just want to follow up here. Totally not related in a sense. Like, so you've played a lot of Power Five opposition, a lot of G5s so far back when you're at HBU and now at Western Kentucky. But do you have like any of the upcoming games that you're truly like excited for? Like I know you have Indiana, I believe you have Michigan State. Like, do you have like any other like games that you're excited for? And then as a follow up to that, like, are you more so a one game at a time person, or do you like target games as like a revenge game, or this is like senior day, or you just have those games that you just get amped up for extra just because?
I'm a big, take a one game at a time type of person. Being able to play, Indiana, Michigan State these next 2 weeks is going to be a big time challenge for us here at WKU. They're two really great teams. Michigan State just got ranked number 20 in the nation this past week. And, Indiana's coming off a hard loss against Cincinnati in a game that they could have very possibly won. So, like I said, I'm a big, take it 1 week at a time. So this next week, against Indiana is probably the biggest game that I have circled on my schedule.
I like that. Don't try to overlook your opponent, just have to, once you knock them down, then everything else will soon follow. And then,
Exactly.
perfect, perfect. And different question here. So as a transfer, like, how have you enjoyed life at Western Kentucky? Like, have you been able to experience like the whole campus, like the whole vibe, been able to enjoy it compared to, um, say, back at your former school? Like, you've been able to enjoy the new scenery, new changes. How's that impacted you so far?
I've loved it. Like I've said multiple times to other people, it's probably the best decision that I've ever made, getting in the transfer portal and coming here to WKU. We really weren't, we had like a one side to the stadium back at HBU. So you only have fans on one side. Here we come here, we have a big stadium with 22,000 people. And I think it's going to be sold out this week. And I think that's the biggest thing for, me and, the guys that came with me, the Stearns and Ben Ratzlaff, is being able to experience that stuff, to see a student section of, thousands of students that we know, and then looking around, stadiums packed and just playing those big games that we weren't in, last few years. And I think that's the biggest, difference that, I can tell. And then alongside that, just, hanging out with my teammates. They've really treated me like, just like somebody that's been here for 4 years. They've made it feel like home. And I'm extremely grateful to have these guys on my team. And, I love them all.
Gotta love hearing that you go in there and right away you're getting the respect you deserve. QB1, king of the locker room, all that stuff. You've definitely got WKU going in the right direction. You and the Stearns brothers came over. You and Jareth have a very special connection that I want to speak to here. You guys you're always finding him in the biggest spots of the game, hooking up with him for, like 30, 40-yard completions, all that fun stuff. I'm just curious, like, how did this relationship with him come about where you two became so in sync, like finishing each other's sentences, all that? And what's like the best part about his game, in your opinion?
So I've played with him now going on, this will be 3.5, 4 years. And, he's probably one of the best players that I've ever played with. Just from the route running standpoint, catching, he rarely drops the ball. He's always open. And I think the best attribute that he has is his knowledge of the game. He understands it, just about as good as anybody on our team. And, he's able to, on the, those plays that break down and it's kind of like an improv scenario where I'm running around back there. He kind of understands, okay, to kind of flow with me and try to, find those little holes in the defense to sit down and make the easy throw for me. And I think that's, his biggest, best attribute is just him understanding the game, understanding coverages, and his ability to get open. And then, from the connection standpoint, that stuff really doesn't, come over, overnight. Like I said, we've been together for 3.5 years. I've thrown him 239 balls. I think he has like going on 240 now in receptions. So, we've had a lot of reps together in game and out of game in practice. So we've had a lot of work at it. And, I think he deserves everything. I hope he's, a finalist for the Blinton-Koff. I mean, he deserves it. He's a heck of a player, and he works hard at it.
Yeah, he's definitely got a bright future ahead of him. NFL needs to be looking at him in addition to you, both just absolute studs out there at Western. Um, One thing I wanted to ask was I want to know like your favorite play, kind of like walk me through it from getting the play call in to pre-snap adjustments, reading the defense, your progressions and your reads. Like I want to know everything about your favorite play to call.
Well, I could tell you the play call. I'm not going to tell you all the routes and everything. We're going to have people trying to snoop on about my favorite play.
Yeah. You're scared of me picking you off. I know.
Yeah. We have this, this play called 95. It's a play that no matter what coverage the defense is in, literally no matter what, somebody's open. If they're in cover 1, you're taking a shot. Cover 2, you have somebody finding the hole in the middle of the field. Cover 3, you have your post curl. I'm not going to say where post curl's at. It's somewhere on the field. And then you always have your back checking into the flat. So, 95 is my best play, and it's been my best play ever since I've, entered into Coach Kelly's offense.
Perfect. Like every player has their money play. Like 95 gets called. Next thing you know, you throw it, hands up in the air like that because you already know it's 6. But like you mentioned that you've been like a fan so long. Like, what's been your favorite moment of favorite college football moment? Like going back to when you were a kid.
I don't know. To be honest, I guess you could say when outside of playing college football, I think seeing it live and on TV and like looking back at, I guess, the Michael Crabtree catch against Texas, win the game, seeing that on TV, of course, and always looking back at that, it's probably one of the best plays best moments I've ever seen. And then you go to the kick 6 against Alabama Auburn Iron Bowl. I don't know what year that was, but when the Alabama missed field goal and Davis returns it 109 yards or whatever for a touchdown, win the game. And then playing wise, I'd have to say when we beat my junior year, we played South Dakota at HBU, and I think we were 20 something point underdogs, and we came in there and we ended up winning by 2 points on a 2-point conversion to win the game. Actually, we won by 1 point, 53-52. We scored to basically tie it up. If we kicked an extra point, but we wanted to go for 2, and we won the game going for 2. So that was probably, the best moment I've had playing college football.
Go big or go home. That's the way to do it.
They go that far to tie the game up. We wanted to win it.
Yeah, no, I respect that 100% of the time. Don't be cowards. Don't kick the extra point. Go for it. And speaking of games, what would be, if you had one game to choose to be your Heisman reel, what game would it be?
So far this year, I guess only playing 2 games out of the 2. Either or. Honestly, we still have 10 more this year, so I'm sure we'll rack up some big numbers in a few of these games with this offense. But I'm excited for these next 10. Indiana, hopefully I'm sure we'll do good against Indiana. They have a great defense. They're going to come out and they're going to be really aggressive on the defensive end. So I'm just excited for this one.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to this Indiana matchup. And then the 2 that follow, Michigan State and UTSA, an opponent that I know you're not going to overlook. That's just another good team in your good conference. I'm curious about, because you're so good at quarterback, and hopefully the NFL gives you a call and all that. But when football ends, because it does end for everyone, what are your plans for after football? Do you see yourself coaching or broadcasting? or just outside of football, looking to do stuff outside?
To be honest with you, I've actually made that decision back in spring when I first got here to WKU, and that's actually whether it's I spend 2 or 3 years in the NFL or no years in the NFL or whatever, however many years I have left of playing football. After of course, I want to get into coaching football, specifically in the college level or a higher level, NFL professional level. But personally, I've loved football. I've been playing it all my life, and I don't see myself getting out of it anytime soon. So, if playing football isn't in my future, definitely coaching.
Oh, that's perfect. So the Kitley coaching tree, it begins with you. I'm curious to know what the biggest difference in FBS ball is to FCS. I know you played FBS opponents like Texas Tech when you were at Baptist, but now that you're really you did play FCS opponents to start your career at Western, but when you played Army, what was that biggest difference in FBS ball to you?
I'd say, there's a little speed difference in the game. When I guess FBS is, I guess the higher you go up in FBS, everybody, they're more athletic. You're playing a lot more guys that, have NFL caliber talent, and, playing against Army, that's kind of what, kind of stood out to me is just the speed of the game and, kind of different schemes that, these bigger schools try to play. And, that's really the biggest difference for me.
Yeah, no, man. Like I said, you've played a lot of FBS opponents, so you're probably used to it by now. So I just want to follow up. What was your welcome to college moment? The difference between say high school ball and college ball? Was it be whether you'd visit campus for the first time, or would it be fall practice? Would it be actual games? What will be your welcome to college, kind of like the welcome to NFL moment where something just shocks you?
I actually remember that. So my freshman year at HBU, we had two linebackers. One was All-American Garrett Dolan, and then another one, Cody Moniker, was first team all conference. Should have been All-American. I mean, they were both studs. And coming in there, it was either my first or second practice. I'm the new guy. I'm supposed to be the next coming QB1. So I'm in there kind of big headed, I'm the next big guy here. And I try to scramble and try to make a play up the middle, and I run into number 40. It was Garrett Dolan, the All-American. Mm-hmm. And he just, he didn't tackle me. Of course, you're not supposed to tackle the quarterback in practice, but he kind of laid the wood on me and picked me up and kind of just set me back down and just looked at me. And I was like, okay, yeah, I can't be doing what I used to be doing around here. So that was, kind of my, okay, welcome to college football. You can't be doing what you used to do. You got to be smarter.
Yeah, no, usually a lot of the times it's that first practice where they tell you, yeah, no, you can't pull off what you used to do back in high school anymore, things like that. So it's actually pretty hilarious. And then, so I just want to change the time frame. So take me through fall last year. So you see all of these programs suspending your season, canceling your season, and then you have games that are becoming canceled. But HBU actually ended up playing a few games. So take me through that process to where you are practicing, not sure whether the game will go on or not. Walk me through, does it change your preparation compared to this year where you're pretty certain that all the games will go on, compared to last year where it's more so it may happen, it may not happen. Talk about that difference basically.
Well, I've prepared kind of the same. I prepared as if the game was going to go on no matter what, whether it was, COVID affected or whatever, just like I do, this year. But last year, like you even said, it was a big difference. You never knew all the way up to Friday. Oh, actually, all the way up to Saturday, you never knew if the game was actually going to, be played or be canceled. So, I mean, I kind of try to stay out of that mindset. I try to stay in like the fact that, the game's going to be played. Try to get your mind right on that, get your mindset. And if it doesn't, then I mean, it doesn't get played. But if it does, then you're ready to go. But at HBU, the trainers there and Coach Shee, the head coach, they did a phenomenal job. With the testing and everything, and trying to keep us away from everybody so we wouldn't be affected by COVID. And the 4 teams that we played did a phenomenal job as well, and we were able to get all 4 games in without any rescheduling or canceling. So I wish we were able to play more than 4 games, but we're grateful that we got any in. Like some other teams weren't able to get any games in, so we're grateful that we got 4 in at least.
Yeah, I know you definitely cherish those moments of just playing football when we saw all around us games canceled, seasons canceled, players opting out. It was a wild time. Going into my next question, we spoke about you and Kitley already. This air raid attack that you're in, you're a lethal weapon out there at quarterback. I'm curious what your favorite throws to make are. What's your favorite pass in your arsenal?
I like my personally, I like doing the opposite hash out routes. Either on my left hash, right hash, throwing across the field, 10-yard outs. That's some big time throws. You got to put it on the money. You can't leave it short. Can't leave it inside. Otherwise, it's going to be intercepted. So being able to do that, those cross the field throws on the opposite, sideline is, some throws that, I like to make and I like to kind of like show off that I can do. But, and then, like fades, every quarterback likes fades because then you can launch it downfield and hopefully get a touchdown. But, really the cross the field throws, the opposite sidelines on the outs or the corners and stuff like that is, some of my better throws.
Those opposite field throws, the NFL throws.
Exactly. You got to show those off.
For sure. As someone who was under recruited and obviously you end up using the transfer portal years later to help out, but what advice do you have to give to recruits and other players that feel so under the radar, like they're not getting noticed, they're under recruited, they're just trying to impress someone, like what's your advice for people that are chipping away and grinding and just want to be noticed?
The biggest thing that the advice that I was given was, go where you're wanted. Some people don't have that option. Like I didn't have that option. HBU was my only offer. So HBU was the only place that, I could go with the full scholarship. So I think my advice to, those that either have no offers or only have a few offers is, go where you're wanted. And then, I mean, if you ball out where you're at the, bigger schools and, the NFL, they're going to find you no matter what level you're at, whether it's, Power 5 or D2, D3. If you ball out and you give it your all and you work hard and, you'll put yourself on the map and they'll come find you, no doubt.
Yeah, no, like you said, ball out, they'll find you. Like we've had all pros from smaller schools, so it's true statement. And speaking of pros in the NFL, if you could throw a touchdown pass to any receiver in NFL history, who would you choose?
That's a tough one. There's been a lot of great ones. I'd probably go, I guess since I've kind of like he's my era of watching, I'd probably go Megatron. Calvin Johnson, that'd honestly be a lot easier touchdown. Just throw it up to him, let him go get it. Guys like that, Calvin Johnson. I was a big Wes Welker fan. But I think my choice, this kind of like era would be, Megatron.
Can't go wrong with Megatron. Safe pick. Like you already know he's gonna catch everything. So it makes your job a whole lot easier.
No doubt.
A whole lot easier. Yeah. And then final question for me, like say for example, you weren't necessarily a quarterback, but like you said, you love football since the beginning of time. Like where would you see yourself playing outside that position?
Ooh, I've never really thought about that one. I guess inside receiver, maybe. I mean, I'm an offensive player. I like scoring touchdowns. So I don't like going on the defensive side. You just out there to tackle. I mean, so I like scoring touchdowns. So I'd probably either say receiver. That's really that's the only thing that comes to my mind right now. I don't see myself playing safety. I don't think I'm fast enough for some of these guys that, at these big schools. But receiver, I feel like I can get open.
Don't undersell yourself. You're plenty fast enough.
There's some guys here that run 4.2s, 4.3s. I mean, those guys, I don't think anybody can keep up with those guys.
I really do like how you spoke to safety there because we had Kent State quarterback Dustin Crum on a few weeks ago, and he said the position he'd want to play is safety. So I thought that was real interesting. Two quarterbacks bringing up safety. Inside receiver there. Yeah, we need Stearns to throw you a touchdown pass sometime. Let's see that happen this year.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Really special.
Yeah, tell Kitley you got that in the playbook. What are we doing? Call out
he's thrown me a few. It haven't ended up in touchdowns, but we've connected on a few from his end.
Well, we need to see like a one-handed catch or a Megatron Moss on a fade from you.
Senior day.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It might be coming soon. We'll see.
We'll see for sure. One thing we'll also see is you leave a legacy behind at Houston Baptist and potentially Western Kentucky. What do you most want fans to remember you for at either school, their fans, or just college football fans in general?
I think the biggest thing for me would just be, a player that really gave it his all on the field, gave 100%, laid it out on there for his teammates, laid it out there for his fans, tried his hardest to get the dub. A person that, just did everything they can, to get the win, whether it was anything possible that you can imagine. Just trying to get the W. I think that's the biggest thing for me.
Love it. I'm gonna let Doug take over here for our pick six segment. We know you don't throw any of those, but that's the name of this segment. I'll let Doug take it away.
All righty. First question: favorite food, least favorite food?
Steak, least favorite. Chinese.
How do you hate Chinese food, man?
I don't know. It just came to my mind real fast. Sorry.
Hurt my feelings. But question 2. Who's the funniest player on the team?
Craig Burt Jr.
Prankster, or is he just like stand-up comedian?
Just stand-up comedian. Everything he says is hilarious.
All right, perfect. Favorite meme that you have?
Not a big meme guy. Sorry. I don't carry memes.
It's all good. Question 4, like what's something people don't know about you, like hidden talents, hidden skills, like passions?
I think everybody knows I'm big time hunter and fisherman. From Texas. I'm from South Texas, so that's kind of what we do on our spare time down there. So I mean, that's kind of my passion outside of football.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, man. Keep it simple. Hunting, fishing, best life. Any superstitions you may have, like any sort of like rituals? Like I know earlier you said you like to keep things like chill, but like everybody has something.
I would say my mom is a big time superstitious person. I mean, if we win a game, she's wearing the same earrings, she's wearing the same necklace, stuff like that. I think I'm a big like restaurant guy. Like if, me and the O-lineman, we go out to eat on Wednesday nights. So like if we go out Wednesday night, we eat somewhere and we lose that week, we're not going back there for the rest of the year. So that's kind of like my superstition. We'll change it up every week if we have to.
Right. So follow up to that. This is not part pick six. You got to treat because you always got to treat your lineman, right?
Of course.
Good man. Got a perfect head on your shoulders. Smart. All right. And the last one. If you didn't play football, like what would you end up doing?
Probably coaching, or I'd become a hunt and fishing guide. I'm a big outdoors guide, so I'd probably either find my way out, to that, profession, or, try to coach.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Bailey, for coming on, doing this, answering all these questions. Really appreciated you having you on, and we both wish you luck in this coming week, season. Brutal 3-game stretch coming up, but y'all are gonna go 3-0, throw for over 1,000 yards or whatever. No biggie. We'll see you doing big things in these next few weeks in season. Best of luck to you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all for having me. Thank y'all.
Of course. Anytime.